All right, let's go. So, day number 30. One more day left, and it's the New Year's, it's 2025. So, that's why in this video, I already have here some bullet points. So, the main topic is how to make 2025 the best year of your life. And I'll go over some things because I think this is probably one of the most important videos on this channel and probably one of the most helpful, just because I'll go over a couple of things. And it's not just money, right? It's not just health, it's all of them. Like, you don't want just one, you want everything. But of course, there's actually a saying: you can have anything but you can't have everything, meaning that you can't spend 10 hours with your family and also spend 10 hours working, right? Unless maybe you work with your family, but even so, right, it's not the same thing. It's not free time and work time. So let's start with the first thing, because I have 7 things. I might put timestamps, I'm not sure, but let's start with the first thing, and I will put them in order of importance. So the first thing is health, because basically if you don't have health, you don't have anything. Like, you can have all the money in the world. Look at the, let's say, the oldest people in this world, Warren Buffett, right? Like, if you compare him with a 20-year-old, who would you want to be? Would you want to be Warren Buffett with all the money in the world, but not knowing if you have 1 year, 2 years, 10 years to live? Or a 20-year-old who has all the time in the world in front of him, right? So in terms of health, I just had a call with my team, which I love dearly because we talk about almost everything. And this is something that we discussed. And personally, the main 3 things I focus on is sleep, what I eat, and moving, working out. Because these 3 are basically all that you need. If you have these 3 in place, then you should feel good. You should have all the energy in the world to do whatever the F you want. Then let's go to the second one. So let me unblock my phone here. The second one is goals. All right, so you're healthy, right? Then you actually need to put some goals on your calendar, on your notebook, whatever, right? Even in your mind, but ideally it is written down. So the goals basically should actually be ideally for each category of your life. Because let's be honest, if you don't track something, either it's not important, you don't care about it, or you don't take it seriously. So you have to decide. Do you actually want to make more money? Then you'll probably actually write down what you need to do to make more money. Or do you want to have better relationships? Then you'll probably write down what it takes to have better relationships, right? So let's be honest with us. If something is important, we'll make time for it. We'll actually put effort into it. So about goals, I don't have to talk too much, because basically for each category that I will go over, the main point is to make goals for it and just make sure that we're on the right track, the track that we want. So let's go to the third part, which is a mix actually, but that is a mix of emotional, lifestyle, and habits. So basically, think of it like this. Depending on what you do, you will feel better or not, right? So that's why I actually put emotional. Because first you actually need to make your lifestyle before you decide how you want to make money. Because, for example, if you don't like to swim and you try to make money out of swimming, then you're putting the wrong thing in front of what's actually more important. Because what is the lifestyle that you actually want? Do you want to stay all day in your house? So would you want to be a programmer, a marketer, whatever? Or would you prefer to be on vacations, to vlog, to do stuff like that, right? So there are different things, and that's why you actually need to look at your personality, at your desired lifestyle, at the habits that you want to have. Because, for example, if you're a software engineer, you're probably not fly all day every day, right? There might be exceptions, but in most cases, let's be honest, those 2 things aren't really correlated as much, right? That's why a travel vlogger usually is more so an extroverted person that doesn't necessarily like to stay all day in front of their computer. But I wasn't sure why I was hearing music, but I had some epic music, let's say, instrumental music in my earphones. But coming back to lifestyle, that's why you really need to decide what's the lifestyle that you desire, and then back engineer and see what are the things that you actually would like to do on a daily basis and how would that fit in your calendar. So that's why this is actually before some of the other things, such as, because point number 4, it's money. And when it comes to money, you have two things that you need to remember, right? How much you earn, and then how much you spend and save. So there are a couple of components here, but the most important is definitely how much you earn, because depending on that, you can play around with the other two. But let's be honest, all of us want to earn more in most cases, right? So that's why I actually mentioned lifestyle earlier, because all of us can earn a decent amount, and actually more than enough, I would say, if we do the thing that we like. For example, for me, it's a mix of strategy, media buying, growing businesses, because I do enjoy sitting in front of my computer looking at data, but at the same time, I also enjoy talking with people. But it's just that talking, as you can see here, or even when I'm on calls, it's maybe 10%. So I don't get energy from talking with people all day, every day. But for that 10%, 15% of the day, I do enjoy doing it. So that's where it's very important to first know what kind of person you are, the lifestyle that you want, and then see where you can actually make the most money by actually doing it. So that's why, in terms of money, you also need to set some goals. How much you want to earn this year? What's the estimated monthly revenue or the annual revenue or income that you want to make? And then how much you want to spend? Do you want to take more vacations? Do you want to splurge on tech, on whatever you like? I don't know. Everyone with their own thing. Maybe you want to give to other people in your life, which also makes you feel better usually. But money, income, and investments are definitely important. And investments, I won't touch on it because that's a totally different subject. So I won't touch on that, but I've talked in some other videos about it. Ideally, you do have some investments in the stock market, in crypto, in business, in yourself. But with that, actually, let's go to point number 5, because that's business and personal brand. And why I'm saying business and personal brand? Well, because not everyone is or has a business, but everyone has a personal brand. And depending on your personal brand, that will help either your business or it will help you whenever you want to get a job. So the personal brand is the thing that will dictate how much you can earn. Ideally, you don't focus on the personal brand before you earn some skills. Like ideally, you focus on your skills first, but then when you have skills, ideally you start to talk about that thing. You start creating content, because it doesn't have to be video like I'm doing right now. It can start with text, just like I was doing in the beginning, because I'm not exactly the type of person to talk in front of the camera all day, every day, but it has become easier after first writing and having clear thinking, then being able to articulate it better in video. So it is a process for sure, but you just have to start. And this could be one of the goals, to actually start in any way, to show your work, to show your skills, because attention and visibility, as we know, definitely matters nowadays, especially when almost everything is happening online. And even if it's not happening online, you might make the connections that you might eventually meet in real life online. So that's why it's really important. Then we have two more things left. So one of them is relationships, because let's be honest, that's actually the most important part at the end of the day. It's the relationship aspect, meaning that if you earn all the money in the world, but you're unhappy because you don't have you don't have friends, you don't have I wouldn't say necessarily a partner, right? Because you don't necessarily need a partner, although that can be a nice thing as well, a nice addition, someone who understands you better and so on, maybe even having kids. But having good relationships is really important. Having strong bonds with people that you can trust, and that just makes us feel better. Like, there's no denying about it. Like, you wouldn't even have to go to a psychologist, right? Like, there are so many people going to psychologists, but if you would have great relationships, you wouldn't even need that. Of course, unless they are not mature enough to talk about almost everything, but still, the idea is that if you have good relationships, you'll have a good life. And just look at the countries where people live the most, and you'll see why. So here, in terms of goals, you can just think about keeping in touch with them. Like, for me, sometimes I just send reels and it works. We're still like friends and staying in contact. And the last thing, because I want to keep this under 12 minutes if possible, the last thing is a crazy big dream, the seventh thing. So think of one big thing that you might achieve if you will try. So I don't know, it could be asking someone out, right? And who knows, maybe that person becomes your partner. Starting a business, even if you don't know if it will work, right? It might fail. Traveling to a new country and living there alone, or just meeting new people. So there are so many things that might shift your life entirely, but you just have to do it. So we'll end with that, and let's not forget that this is probably one of the most important things. Just making sure that you set some goals and then try to achieve them. So with that, we'll end for today and see you tomorrow.